Hello and welcome to Sector Wargaming. I'm Ed and I'm joined here with...
I'm Derek.
We are two of the core members of Sector Wargaming. If you've seen the other video, that's the other two members, Ian and Alex. So together that's the four of us. Today we're throwing down a 1500 point battle between my White Scars and...
my Iron Warriors.
Yeah, excellent.
It's going to be tasty.
I think so.
We've played this game through once already, and it was... we went for a custom scenario that didn't actually quite work out too well for the Iron Warriors, having lost 6 vehicles by the end of the first turn. And I hadn't fired a shot. So we're redoing it, so it's going to be a better game.
With actual rules rather than just I get to come on wherever I want and shoot.
Yeah, well.
Which was fun for me.
It's the way the White Scars would do it.
Yeah, true. We'll see how the actual game intends us to play it today.
Yeah, roll that way.
Awesome. See you in there.
$1,500 points of Armoured breakthrough for the Iron Warriors. As you can see, I've gone quite vehicle heavy. Starting from the back, I have my Whirlwind Scorpius, who has an additional auxiliary grenade launcher. I have a standard Damocles Rhino. I have my commander in a Sicaran battle tank with Dozer blade, Sponson heavy bolters and pintle mounted heavy bolters, and he is my warlord. I have a Vindicator siege tank with an additional pintle mounted combi bolter. It has Dozer blade, extra armor and power of the machine spirit. And then I have 3 10-man tactical squads, each in their Rhinos, with the support of a Predator tank with Sponson heavy bolters, and they are the core choices for the Armoured breakthrough list. Now, part of the synergy that I really liked about this was the fact that I have supported the Predator tanks with infantry in their Rhinos, so that the idea being the Predator would actually lay down the fire support required for an infantry section to actually take and hold a position. So with the 3 units effectively, that being the Rhino, the Predator and the 10-man tactical squad, it gives you quite a little bit of variation for, I think 305 points. And there's a little block of infantry. They've got enough to take out light armor, medium armor, and obviously take on troops as they see fit. All of those vehicles have extra armor and Dozer blades. The Rhinos are equipped with pintle mounted multi-melters, and 2 of the tac squads have sergeants with power fists, where the 3rd tac squad does not. So the vehicle I'm looking forward to using most in this game is going to be my Sicaran command tank. Always been a fan of the Sicaran, and for the Iron Warriors, putting 4 heavy bolters on 1 tank that's fast is actually quite a nice little touch, bearing in mind that all of those bolters, heavy bolters, actually have shrapnel rounds, so they're all causing pinning, which I think is quite tasty. Combined with the accelerated autocannon, it's going to make mincemeat of any White Scar units that don't decide to kill it in the first turn.
My 1500 point of White Scars is a Tregorian Brotherhood, obviously, because it seems to be what all White Scars players do. It is led by a Delegatus riding a scimitar pattern jet bike. He is accompanied by 6 Golden Keshig, all riding Shamshir jet bikes with their power lances. 4 units of 3 scimitar jet bikes. No sergeants in any of the squad, but 1 Volkite upgrade for all of them. 2 units of 2 Javelin land speeders, both with missiles, multi-melter and 2 hunter killers each. And rounding out the list is the Kirzigan land speeder at the back. My Warlord rolled Master of the Vanguard, which gives me +1 to run and charge moves, which I'll take happily running the Golden Keshig today. The unit I'm most looking forward to using today is my Sicaran land speeder. Javelin land speeders have a reputation for being absolutely horrible, and this kicks it up to 11. With the amount of shots it has, I'm really looking forward to see it tearing up some Iron Warrior's armour, and I've actually never fielded one despite having 3, so this is a field trial for the bad boy. Right then, so the first thing to warn you about is I finished night shift about 2 hours ago?
Yep.
2 hours ago.
Hour and a bit ago.
So my first coffee of technically today. But anyway, we are playing, we've rolled up off camera and we're playing Tide of Carnage with the Search and Destroy deployment zone. So I'm going to roll now. Well, we're both going to roll, see who gets first turn. So
See who gets the first turn.
I get 6.
I get 4.
Awesome. I'm actually going to choose to go second.
Fair enough.
Because, and this is cheeky, White Scars get +1 to seize. So if I roll a 5, I get you to deploy first, I can deploy second, and then if I seize on you...
Dirty.
Dirty.
Anyway,
dirty. We'll see you in there.
So as you can see from the overhead camera, I have fully deployed now. I have no vehicles in reserve, and obviously the Xiphon is not part of this army list, it's purely aesthetic. I've gone for a hard facing towards the Chagorian Brotherhood, getting the Rhinos and the couple of Rhinos, Predators and a Vindicator up there at front, holding some troops in reserve, with my Sicaran command tank just parked at the back there. And I have my Scorpius in a reasonable position to start laying down some fire, and a couple of cheeky little units should Ted decide to hit me with the outflanking, or the no doubt outflanking land speeders.
For my deployment, I've gone a bit risky. I'm kind of hoping to be cheeky and seize. Because I'm White Scars, I seize on a 5-up. I've put my 3 land speeder squadrons into reserve, and I've put all the jet bikes out on the field. If I do get turn 1, I plan on going really hard down one flank and trying to attack into the Iron Warriors that don't have a Vindicator looking at me. If it doesn't work, I have spread out a little bit, and I've got my speeders in reserve, as I hope to get them coming in and spanking some armour in the back, and hoping my Jinx and 2-up saves protect me for that first turn if my gamble doesn't work. Okay, so the test of my gamble, I'm going for a seize. Again, White Scars on a 5-up. Here we go. No, so no seize. So it's Iron Warriors turn 1, and let's see if I can weather this storm.
I have decided to push up as many Predators and Vindicators supported by tactical squads up my right flank, so that hopefully my Predators and my Vindicator can cause some damage to some of these smaller units on this side. I've decided to keep the Whirlwind Scorpio static so it can lay down its fire, and we'll roll with that and see how that ends up going up. I've moved my Damocles Command Rhino out of the line of sight of my Sicaran tank, who's got a nice line of sight to at least 3 units in the far side. And I've got 2 tactical squads in there, Rhinos pushing up the left flank, supported by a Predator tank that's got a couple of cheeky shots with its Predator autocannon over onto the golden cache egg. So fingers crossed my fire shooting phase will pan out how I hope it will pan out. So I'm opening fire on my Vindicator first. Obviously it's got power of the machine spirit, and because of the armor list, it's classed as a fast vehicle. So I'm going to go there, hopefully for 3. So here comes the scatter, fingers crossed no scatter. It's going to scatter 2 inches, but I've got line of sight, so I can pull that back on the target, so that's going to be 3 hits.
Okay, I've obviously declared Jink, but let's see.
So here we go, some strength 10 AP2, so I'm not surprised you declared Jink. So looking for those 2s. So that is 2 wounds, 2 cover saves from Jink.
3 up, that is
So
1 dead.
1 dead, and I'm going to follow straight on with the combi bolter, twin linked, for no hits. The first of 2 predators. So I'm going to start with this one, and that's going to engage the unit of 3 bikes at the back there because it's got a better line of sight. I'm going to go with that one first. If I don't do some serious damage, I'll follow on to the second one, but we'll see how we go. So kicking off with the Predator autocannon, so 4 shots hitting on 3s, 2 hits, strength 7, so wounding on 2s, so that is 2 wounds. Would you like to jink?
No drink because I've got a 2 up save, which I make both of them.
And then I'm automatically going to follow that up with both of the heavy bolter sponsons, because in this army list they are fast vehicles and it's only moved 6 inches. So heavy bolters, 4 hits, and strength 5, toughness 5, force to wound, that is 3 wounds. So 3 saves with a 2 up.
Ah, another dead.
Second Predator is going to engage exactly the same unit, exactly the same again. So Predator autocannon, 3 hits. Strength 7 on 3s, so wounding on 2, so 3 wounds, 2 ups.
Again, no need to drink, 2 up saves.
That's another one down.
Another dead, down to 1.
And then we'll follow on with the heavy bolters from the same vehicle. And looking at 4s to wound. 1 wound, 1 save of a 2 up, or dead. Oh,
Fine.
Tasty. Starting over this side of the board with my Rhino. So he's going to fire his multi-melter at these guys over here. So looking for
Drink.
3s to hit. So 1 hit, strength 8. So looking at 2s to wound, wound.
3 up drink.
1
Dead. No.
down. So next up, I'm firing my Whirlwind Scorpius. It's remained static, so it's D3 plus 1. Its target is going to be over here, the golden cache, specifically this guy right here, because he's nice and tight to the leader there. So D3 plus 1 for its shots. So I'm going to get a maximum of 4 shots on the small blast template. So I'm going to work those out off camera and get back to you with that one. So after working out the optimal barrage from the Whirlwind Scorpius, hurling its 4 rockets directly into the unit, I've managed to inflict a total of 8 hits. Unfortunately, none of them are going to be inflicted instant death because the bike's toughness 5, so they're going to survive, or maybe survive, we'll see. However, what I do have is 8 hits, looking at 2s to wound, and he has elected to, no, don't need to jink.
Don't need to drink, AP3.
AP3. So that will be 6 wounds.
Hang on, let me get some dice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
This is the one where it gets interesting.
No, it doesn't. No, my golden cache are going to be
Are you going to look out
absolutely fine. No.
So the primary target is the leader of the unit here. He's going to get wiped out, and everybody else just will ride through the storm.
Woo.
My Sicaran tank commander is going to open up with his accelerator autocannon. He's got a perfect line of sight to those golden cache egg. So I'm going to open up with his autocannon at ballistic skill 5, needing 2s to hit. So 6 shots, re-rolling misses.
No drink.
I do love the accelerator cannon. So they all hit. Strength 7 with rending. So let's hope for some 6s. Well, there's 2 6s and 2 of the wounds.
Curses.
So do you want to take those 2 of the saving throws? Because
no, I declared not to jink, so...
you can't drink, it's the
Oh,
accelerator.
of course, yeah.
No, jinky for you!
So 2 are dead straight away. That's him, and then it is 2 more saves of 2 up. I've got a lookout serve first, so lookout off my Delegatus. Fails.
Saves.
1 save. So I'll do the save on another guy on a 2 up. He lives, and save on the Delegatus on a 2 up. He lives. Ooh, still taking some hammering losses. So after a much worse round of firing than I really wanted for that turn,
liked it.
Yeah, I have 4 total leadership checks to make. So we'll start with the Golden Keshig, with the Delegatus leadership 9. Oh, let's say it has to be rolled in the box. Oh, crud.
It's got to be in the box.
It's got to be in the box, and it was worse. So 3d6 running away. That may be them straight off the board.
Towards your table edge, not the nearest table.
So that is 5, 9, 13 inches. They're just going to be fine. So I'll move them in a second. This unit of bikes here, needing an 8, they fine. This lone biker, also needing an 8, he's fine. And finally, the guy at the back, needing an 8 as well. He just passes, so only my premier unit is legging it. Excellent. So the first thing I'm going to do at the beginning of my movement phase is hopefully rally my Golden Keshigan Delegatus, otherwise this is going to be a very short game. So needing a 9 or less, that is not actually a White Scars dice. Thankfully they rally. Right, good for that. Heart can slow down a bit, and I'll get back to you at the end of my movement phase. Okay, at the end of my movement phase, I didn't really know what to do. I was hoping I would have survived a lot more of the shooting with my 2-up saves. But I've sent this lone biker over here, and I'm going to spring some shots off over at the Vindy. He didn't jink, thankfully, though he is on his own. Thank every deity you can think that my Golden Keshig rallied, so they sort of bomb burst 3 inches to split up, because I know that Damocles has still got a payload. The other bikes all jumped forward. 2 of these units have jinked, the guys up top there and these boys at the bottom. This fresh unit have led the front, and I'm hoping to just throw as many shots as I can and start popping front armour. With at least, I've got heavy bolters and Volkites, I can do some damage, and if I can slow him down till my reserves come in, they should start really racking up some armour kills. But I'm feeling a little shaky about this. Cool, so everything about White Scars is quick, so this is going to be a quick shooting phase. I'm going to start with the 2 jet bikes up top who have jinked. They're opening fire onto this Rhino straight ahead of them. It is in cover based on where they're sat, but they're snap firing anyway, so we can see what we get. I'll start with my Volkite, hitting on 6s. For a tasty little 3, I'll have that. Not shoddy. And strength 6, armour 11, so 5 to glance. That's 2 pens. I'll take that to the bank. What does it do? Can't blow it up, but I get a shaken and a stunned. I'll take that to the bank and 2 hull points down. It does get a save against those, which we'll do in a second. And the heavy bolter, hitting on 6s, nothing there.
So I'm going to roll my saves now. So it's got a part cover, so it's got a 5-up cover save. So 2 5-up cover saves, 1 made, 1 failed. So we'll take the shaking result.
Next up, the 2 bikers at the back here, again, who jinked last turn, so snap firing. Firing again into the same Rhino who just took 1 hull point. Let's see what we can do. Again, the Volkite first. Be as successful. No, he's not as happy as his friend. And the heavy bolter. That's 1 hit. Needing a 6 to glance. No, nothing from that squad. Right, we'll roll on to the fully healthy squad. So once again, I'll fire my Volkite. Needing 3s this time. That's excellent. And I'll take those 5s again. That is 1 glance, of which there's no save against, so he's down to 1 hull point left. And then I've got 2 heavy bolter boys, hitting on 3s, and needing 6s. 1 6 to at least take out a vehicle.
Nice.
Choices. Quick draw McGraw. The last thing I have to fire in my shooting phase is this lone White Scar jet bike. I have positioned him so he gets side armor on this Vindicator, and who knows, weirder things have happened. So 3 heavy bolter shots where he only hits twice, and needing 6s to glance. Nada. Oh well. Eep. Okay, so at the end of turn 1, I'm not gonna lie, my gamble didn't pay off.
No.
And then I took a lot more damage than I wanted to take, and then I bounced.
Yeah. The accelerator auto cannons from the Sicaran's got to be the highlight of that one. Tearing apart those.
Yeah, the golden Keshig. Running away,
Brutal.
the elite of my...
It's not running away, it's a tactical
withdrawal. It's what we do.
They're baiting the trap, that's all it is.
That's
They're
it.
baiting the trap.
I mean, I have got the majority of my damage dealing units coming on
Yeah,
after
5
this.
speeders to come on still, and there's a shed load of firepower.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, at least they're protected if I didn't get turn 1. As in to go first on turn 1, which is what I went, because if they were jinked, I'm doomed. So at least when they come on, they are going to cause some havoc. There's a lot of you still alive.
There is, the fact I've only really lost 2 hull points off 1 vehicle is, that's horrific.
This next turn is going to be punishing. But we'll try.
Gotta try.
Gotta try.
If not, it's just a hit and run attack. It's a probing attack.
That's it.
Save the speeders.
Save this.
Save the speeders! So movement phase done. I've got my Predator tanks pushing up and getting in some targets of priority to try and push off this right flank here. Predators lining up shots on the golden Keshig hiding in the corner. The Vindicator's preparing to take another potentially lethal shot at the White Scar's biker on the side. The troop transporting Rhinos are moving up into position to push towards the enemy deployment zone. Again, Predators pushing up to optimise fire lines to maximise their lethal capabilities, backed up by troop Rhinos of course. Whirlwind Scorpius has again remained static, as has the Damocles Command Rhino, and my Sicaran command tank decided to take the bold move of driving over some terrain and past his difficult terrain test, so that he can get in a better position to line up some shots on the White Scar's bikers in the far distance. Kicking off my firing, I'm going to start with my Predator tank against the lone biker. It's moved 12 inches, so it can only fire 2 of its weapons, so I'm going to select the Predator rotor cannon and the left sponson, as the right doesn't have a line of sight. So kicking off with the Predator cannon first, so hitting on 3s, all hit, and strength 7, looking at 2s to wound. That is 4 wounds, so 4 saving throws of a 2 up.
Yeah, no need to drink. And
He's gone! So firing next, I have my second Predator, who is going to open fire with its Predator autocannon and 1 heavy bolter at the golden Keshig. Just opening them with those to see if I can't punish them some more and force them back again. So 4 shots from the autocannon, all hit, looking at 2s to wound. 3 wounds, so 3 2-up armour saves.
So at the front is my Delegatus, so it is 3 lookout sirs, which all change, and they go on the normal boys, and they're all fine.
And then heavy bolter to back it all up. So 1 hit with a heavy bolter, which wounds.
Lookout sir.
Successful.
And armour save 2 up. Fine.
Saves. So unfortunately for me, I have misjudged the range of my Vindicator. I decided to slide it in there. What I should have done is pushed it forward, because he's actually 3 inches short of hitting that biker unit, which was my intent. So never mind, better luck next time. Okay, moving on with my firing phase. I'm going to open fire with my multi-melter. Now it's snap firing from the previous turn. So I have a single shot hitting on 6s. So,
I'm going to be brave and not jink.
ooh, 6 to hit. Hits.
Oh, come on.
2s to murder, 1 dead. No jinky jink. Continue on with my shooting. I've got my last Predator tank, which has only moved 6 inches on the last turn. So therefore we'll be firing its 2 heavy bolters and its autocannon at the biker unit. So I'm going to kick off with the 4 shots from the autocannon, hitting on 3s, all hit. Needing 2s to wound, because strength 7. That is a total of 4 wounds, so 4 2-up saves.
There we go.
Oh, they make it.
Oh, good, good, good.
Let's see if the punishing fire from the heavy bolters will do any different.
No.
So 4 hits, and strength 5, toughness 5, so 4s to wound, no wounds.
Oh,
So they weather that storm quite happily.
Some luck. After your multi-misser hit on a snapshot. Never been heard. Never been heard.
So my Whirlwind Scorpius doesn't actually have a target to actually engage yet, but my hope is that it will survive when the land speeders turn up. And moving on to my Damocles Command Rhino, that's going to hold its shot for now, because I'm waiting for those land speeders to turn up so I can absolutely nuke them with a nice orbital bombardment. So I'm going to move on to my Sicaran. Now he's moved 12 inches and the heavy bolters are still out of range. So I'm going for 6 shots with the accelerator autocannon onto the land speeders on the top.
Javelins.
Javelins.
Not javelins.
Javelins.
Scimitars.
Anyway, 6 shots hitting on 2s.
I am drinking this
You
time.
are drinking this time.
I can't drink it to the accelerator.
Twin linked. No jinky for you. So strength 7, 2s to wound, 6s will tear you to small pieces. You're not tear to small pieces, but you do have 4 saving throws to make.
4 2-ups.
They're
This
fine.
time we're okay. This is what I wanted to happen. Good boys. Well done. Yes.
So with my shooting concluded, I've decided to do some extra movement with my rhinos. So I've just moved the rhino up a couple of inches to actually get it ready to push around the corner. And on the far side of the table, I've got the rhino with its 10-man tac squad pushing up behind the predator as the predator is starting to clear the ground before it.
So after another round of heavy Iron Warriors shooting, the last thing I have to do is roll a leadership check for these boys who lost a model. Needing an 8 or less. Lovely. They're sticking around. At the start of my second movement phase, hopefully all my reserves are going to come in. Being White Scars, I get +1 to the first reserve roll, which I am going to use for my Kirzagan land speeder. So on a 2-up for my Kirzagan, in he comes, and the 2 units of identical javelins on 3-ups. One of them's in, 1 unit of javelins isn't coming in. Now, outflanking, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I pick. So the Kirzagan gets an I pick, and the unit of javelins gets an I pick. Wonderful. You'll see where they come on the top down. Turn 2 movement phase, my 2 javelins came in from this side, hoping to get a few shots off on that Sicaran. This terrain is almost custom made to protect its flank, but it's something. They've got a lot of shots with their missiles, and let's hope for the best. My Kirzagan came on, and he's looking pretty. The rear armour of this Scorpius, another thing that's been causing me a lot of hassle. And all the bikers at the back have gone big, or we're going home. So I've moved forward. No one's jinked, so I'm going to fire full at everything and hope for a few lucky charges to get me in amongst the lines. Because if I can do that, maybe I can cause enough chaos and exploded vehicles to give myself a bit of cover from the tactical squads that will then spill out of them. Fingers crossed. Cool. So the first thing I'm going to fire at the beginning of my shooting phase is my Sicaran speeder into the back of this Whirlwind Scorpius. We agreed at the beginning of the game that the Aegis defense lines were just for a bit of purification, so it's not going to provide any cover saves. As I said at the beginning of the game, the first time I've ever got to fire one of these, so I'm hoping it actually does something. Anyway, it only moved on 6, so it gets to fire everything, but I'm not going to fire its Hunter Killers. 6 shots from its Kerry's assault cannon, hitting on 2s because of strafing run. That's a good start. Rear armour is 11 on a... It is 11.
No, 10.
10 on the rear?
It's only 11 on the Damocles.
Excellent. So, force to glance. That is 2 pens. It's alright. What do those pens do? Gets me a weapon destroyed and a shaken. Weapon destroyed, how many have you got? 3? 3. So we'll say 1-2 grenade launcher, 3-4 is the combi, and 5-6 for the Scorpius. That is the combi grenade launcher gone, and it's down to 1 hull point. I now have 2 auto cannons to fire into its back. So, hitting on 2s, in the box, all hit. Strength 7. So, it's gone, but it can't blow up, because they're only AP 4. So, next up, now that I've actually managed to kill something on the board, my 2 javelins that came on for reserve are going to open up and they're going to fire everything they've got, including the Hunter Killers, at the Sicaran. That's because the way Derek's very cleverly positioned it, it has a 4-up cover save, which is annoying for a vehicle, but it's the way it is. They're on side armour, so we'll see how we go. So first off, we'll fire our missiles. So they get 4, which are not twin-linked, hitting on 2s. That's wonderful. 3. And then they have 4 that are twin-linked. On 2s again. Excellent. So that's 7 missile hits. Strength 8 against side armour of 12. So 4s. That is 1, 2 pen and a glance. If you can take the glance first for me, sir.
Certainly. So the glancing hit first.
Goes through. And the 2 pens.
The 2 penetrating hits.
Both go through.
Both go through.
Excellent. What do the pens do? It's got extra armour, so both of those go down to shaken. But it's down 2 hull points. Wonderful. Derek pointed out that I'm an idiot, and that was 3 hull points caused, and that Sicarans only have 3 hull points. I killed his warlord! Yay! Okay, so after the successful attack runs of my reserve units, I am now going to do what I have dubbed the Charge of the Light Brigade. All these units are going to start firing into tanks, and then we're going to charge later and see how it goes. But we're starting off with these 2 boys here. Going to try and plink off this last last hull point from this Rhino. The Volkite is still alive, so not jinked. Hitting on 3s. Excellent. Front armour 11, so needing 5s. Nothing that time. The Heavy Bolter hitting on 3s. And needing 6s, come on! No, not that time, not from that unit. Okay, so next up is the exact same from the 2 jet bikes behind. Firing, let's try and get this last hull point. Again, the Volkite's alive, so hitting on 3s, yeah, good enough. 5s and 6s, roll it in there, but at least...
Finally! Come on, get it in the box!
Get the back. 1, I am shooting through myself, and because I'm quite big, that does give the Rhino a cover save. No!
It fails.
Pop that Rhino.
So we'll get back to you after we've deployed the infantry.
Nice. So after managing to pop this Rhino, finally, the Iron Warriors Tactical Squad has deployed thusly. They have managed to use the Rhino's hull as a bit of cover from the jet bikes. The last 2 I have to fire. So these 2 boys haven't got very many good targets. This is armor 13 on the front, so it's pretty useless firing at it. In fact, it's entirely useless. So they're going to take some pot shots at this. It gets cover save, but it's something to fire at. So we'll start with my Volkite as usual, hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s and 6s. That's a pen, but you get a 5-up cover save.
So cover, success.
Passes. And the Heavy Bolter hits twice, needing 6s to glance. Nada. Oh well, it was worth a punt. In my charge phase, the Golden Keshig need to make a charge onto this Predator here. With my Warlord trait, I get +1 to this. So it is a 10-inch charge, made into a 9-inch charge because of my Warlord trait. I would really like this to go off. Here we go, needing a 9. That is a no.
That's definitely a fail.
That's definitely a fail. Never mind. Turn 2 wrap up.
Yeah.
I killed some stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Big guns have finally arrived and started punishing the Iron Warriors.
There's more to come.
2 more to come.
2 more to come.
Yes.
And I need them.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. But no, so far so good. I mean, yeah, I've lost 3 tanks, lost my commander, lost Scorpius. Do like my Scorpius.
You do like your Scorpius. My Kears again. Did that turn game 1?
Yeah, game 1 did. Yeah, it's done damage. Good for it. Now it dies.
Oh.
I don't know how yet. Now it dies.
I mean, there is a Vindicator that has quite a...
The Vindicator's got more pressing targets considering I want your deployment zone.
Yeah, true. Well, that is the aim of the game, I guess, which you are very definitely winning right now.
Well, no, it's contested at the moment.
It's
but,
contested at the moment.
I'm
in your deployment zone.
Need to make some things dead.
Oh no, my speeders don't count, do they?
Count as denial, but not as scoring.
Quizzes. Look, I've got time.
It's only turn 2, turn 3.
It's about to be turn 3.
Turn 3.
Right, let's see what happens.
Throw some dice. So on the left flank, my Predators have pushed up hard in preparation to counter the Golden Keshik, supported by a Vindicator and a Rhino with its tack squad intact. Our plan here is to actually push those Golden Keshik out, as I know that Ted's only got 2 land speeders left to come on, and if I can take care of those, then I'm in a significantly stronger place for taking the enemy's deployment zone. The Damocles has remained stationary as it has a beautiful line of sight to what can only be described as a very easy target across there. The 10-man tank squad has moved up. They're going to be firing their bolt pistols and hopefully getting a charge off before I get some serious weathering fire from those heavy bolters and those Volkites. And on the far flank here we have the Rhino, which troops have decided not to disembark just yet, as I want to whittle down those javelin land speeders, not javelin land speeders, scimitar jet bikes. I'm going to hit them with everything from the Predator and the multi-melter and the combi bolter and a couple of guys out the back, because I can fire 2 guys out the back, so why not? So let's see how the dice like me this turn. Kicking off the shooting, I am desperate to eliminate as many of these Golden Keshik as I physically can. So I'm going to be kicking off with the Vindicator. So my intent is to go there. So I will clip 3 of them, direct fire. So I've got my scatter dice ready here. So let's see what I get. It is a 4-inch scatter straight back. So I suspect that is maybe going to clip 1. We'll get back to you once we've actually worked it out.
Okay, I've declared drink.
So I've only managed to clip 1 with that template, so we're looking at 2s to wound, which it does. So 3 up jink, saves.
Good.
So firing its combi bolter, so looking at 3s to hit, miss, but twin linked. So 1 hit, 5s to wound, 1 wound.
2 up save.
Yes!
Are you kidding me?
The big cannon destroying walls doesn't work, the bolter does.
Quizzes.
Iron Warriors and bolters, what more do you need? Continuing that shooting to try and whittle down the Golden Keshik and the Delegatus, I'm going to open up with the first of 2 Predators. Now this one's moved 12 inches, so it's only going to fire 2 weapons, that being the autocannon and then one of the Sponson heavy bolters. So autocannon first on 3s, 2 hits, strength 7. That is 2 wounds, so 2 2-up saves. Now these are going to be on the Delegatus because he is the closest. He's taking 1.
Taking 1 on a 2-up. He
takes a wound.
And the other one on a normal bod lives. So 1 wound off me Delegatus.
And then moving on to the heavy bolter for 3 shots. All hit. And 2 wounds, so 2 saves on the Delegatus.
Look out, sirs, again. Passes them both off. And save 2 up.
One more guy dies. Now, luckily, the other heavy bolter is out of arc. Otherwise, I'd be snap shooting that one. However, we will move on to the next Predator, which is going to fire its 6 heavy bolters first, and then finish off with its autocannon. So 6 heavy bolters first, at full ballistic skill, 3 hits, looking at 4s to wound, nil point, and 4 from the Predator autocannon. That is 3 hits and 2s to wound. That will be 2 saves of a 2 up.
Okay, so 1 at a time because Sergeant is out front. He's dead.
And one more of the Delegatus.
Delegatus.
Saves.
So the Delegatus is left alone, but alive. So after all that withering firepower from the 4 combined Iron Warrior tanks, the Delegatus is left alone and on 1 wound. But here's his leadership check. Needing a 9 or less, he passes. So at least he's standing firm, kind of.
Continuing with my shooting, danger close fire mission. The Damocles Commander Rhino is going to unleash its orbital bombardment by calling in the fire support from the frigate above. So I'm going to go there, which clips 2 of 1 unit and 1 of the other unit. So this shot is Strength 8, AP3, twin linked, which is the most important thing. The rest of the rules won't matter. So here we go. Here's the scatter. So it will be, I'm going to re-roll that because it is twin linked and therefore I can, which means it's only going to scatter 2 inches. So we'll get back to you with the results of that. So after the scatter, I've managed to hit these 2 bikers and this biker. So I was quite pleased with that because it's a bit further away from my troops. So on the lone biker, first of all, a 2 to wound, which is a wound.
No need to drink because it's AP3, 2 up save. He's fine.
And then we will go with the other unit, which received 2 hits, both wound.
2 up saves.
Both fine. Infantry, now having disembarked, are going to forego shooting with their bolters in assault, plan to assault the bikers, so they'll be firing their bolt pistols at the nearest bike unit. So 10 shots, hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s. So that's 5 hits. Could have been better, but never mind. And 1 wound, so 1 save of a 2 up. I'll take it.
Oh, come on.
I'll take it.
No.
So I've concluded shooting against the lone biker. So Ted's going to make his leadership test, which he successfully passes. And then we're going to move on to the shooting. So the Rhino with its multi-melter and combi bolter is going to engage these 2 guys here being a separate unit. So multi-melter first on a 3, misses.
Oh.
And rapid firing combi bolter, 2 hits, 5s to wound, no wounds.
Wasted drink.
Moving on to the Predator, it's going to open up everything it's got to the unit on the far side. So it's 6 shots from its heavy bolters first. So 3s to hit, that is terrible. So 1 hit, 1 wound.
No need to drink, 2 up save.
And then we'll move on to the autocannon. See if I can do any damage with that. Oh no, I think I'm getting some missed shots here. They're too excited. No, failed the wound as well. So absolutely failing to do any damage whatsoever with the Predator.
I'll take it.
My 10-man tactical squad that fired only bolt pistols is going to attempt to charge the lone biker in an attempt to kick his teeth in. So we'll see. I've got a 4-inch charge to make. So first things first, Overwatch fire from the White Scars.
Heavy bolter, hitting on 6s.
No hits. So a 4-inch charge, no re-rolls. 6-inch charge gets me in. So I'll move those models up and get right back to that fight. So having made my charge, I've unfortunately bottlenecked myself there. So unfortunately, only 5 of the Iron Warriors will actually get to fight in this combat, but we are the same initiative. So the White Scars biker will get to attack back. However, he doesn't get 10 attacks like I do. So 10 attacks hitting on 4s. That was a cocked dice. Not my best roll at all. So 4 hits and strength 4 versus toughness 5. So looking at 5s to wound. 2 wounds, 2 saves of your 2 up.
Come on.
Die!
No!
Yes! So he's dead. However, in his dying throes, he's going to crash his bike into the squad and do some damage back.
Hitting on 4s.
No hits. We've killed him and his bike.
Do you want to consolidate?
I shall indeed consolidate. So I will consolidate a whopping 2 inches.
So at the beginning of my turn 3, I've got the other 2 units of javelins to come on. So they come in on a 2-up, because of White Scar rules. They're in at least. And outflanking, so again we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I pick. Here we go, 5, 6 I pick. Well, at least there's a bit of luck. Right, I'll bring them on, we'll see what happens. In my movement phase, these are the 2 javelins that came on. I decided to bring them in onto my deployment zone as denial, and there's a very strong armoured thrust from the Iron Warriors, and I'm hoping to start blunting it. So they'll blow away at that Predator, and hopefully with the amount of firepower they throw out, they'll get some good jobs done. My Delegatus with 1 loon left does have a melter bomb, and that Vindicator is causing me a lot of problems. So hopefully I won't fail this charge, and he'll get in there and do some damage. Over here, my remaining jet bikes, who are 2 squads of 2, are blowing fast forward into this line of tanks. Not too desperately worried about these tactical squads at the back, because I'm toughness 5 with 2-up armor save, which has obviously been doing me so well in this game so far. I'll be fine. But with the javelins behind them, I've got the pick of the litter of which one I blow up, and then they can shoot, the scimitars can shoot and charge the other one. And again, I'm just hoping to start picking away. And the last thing, I've got the Sicaran speeder move through the wreckage of the rear of the Iron Warriors armoured column. It's obscured thanks to us wanting some pretty terrain and putting a Xiphon on that landing shield, but he has got shots on the rear armour of that Damocles, and again, a kill's a kill, and I'll take it at this time. I'm going to open up my shooting phase with the Sicaran speeder firing into the back of the Damocles command Rhino. I am obscured, and I move 12 so I can only fire 2 of its weapons, but here we go. There's not much threatening the Sicaran, to be fair. So we're going to start with its carries. 6 shots, hitting on 2s because of strafing run. Excellent, all hit. Rear armor of the Damocles is 10, so I need 4s.
11.
11? Oh, so doesn't matter.
The one vehicle that's got 11.
That's all right.
Oh
so
dear.
that is 2 pens and a glance. Now, cover save. Take the pens first, please, sir.
So pens, 5 up.
Both go through, and the glance.
And the glance.
Oh,
saves. I've still got a hull point.
Wonderful. So I'll roll the pens if it survives. The autocannon is now going to fire. So 2 shots, twin linked. Hitting on 2s because of strafing run. Lovely. Strength 7, rear armor 11, so 4s. That is 1 pen.
And a save, 5 up.
Oh,
saves!
Right.
So what do those penetrating hits do?
That is a weapon destroyed and a shaken result. Has it got extra armor?
No, because it hasn't got troops in it. So it loses its pintle mounted bolter.
That's all.
Because that's all it's got.
Excellent, and it's down to 1 hull point. So next up, I'm firing my 2 javelin speeders into the rear armor of this lovely Predator that I don't want to be there anymore. It doesn't have armoured Ceramite, which is a rare treat in the game of Horus Heresy, so I'm actually going to start with my multi-melters. Hitting on 2s because of strafing run. There we go. 1 hit. It is in melter range, so 2d6 penetration.
Pens.
Very penetrated. And +2 to this result for AP1 is a 4, so it's shaken, but I imagine it's got extra armour.
It does.
Yeah, don't understand, but that's fine. So now 4 missiles, hitting on 2s, twin linked, all hit, lovely. And strength 8, rear armour 10, so 2s. That is 1 glance and 1 pen, so it's dead, and they can't do anything to it because it's AP3. Okay, so next up in my shooting phase are the 2 javelins that came in from outflank. They are going to fire all they've got into this Predator at the front here. Because they only move 6, they can fire their entire payload, and I'm hitting the front armour, so I'm going to launch everything. We'll start off with the multi-melters. They are not in melter range, but they're still strength 8 AP 1. So hitting on 2s.
Miss melter.
Fine. The 4 hunter killers that aren't twin linked. Wonderful, they all hit. And another 4 hunter killers that are, crack missiles, that are twin linked. Lovely, so that's 8 missile hits in total. Oh, that's something. Armour 13, so needing 5s. That is 2 pens and a hull, so it's dead, and with AP3 can't blow it up, so wrecked. At least wrecked. I'm glad I fired everything. So my last action of the shooting phase, these guys I had actually planned on opening up on the Rhinos, but I've realised more tactically for the gameplay, if I flat them out 24 inches and split them up, I can send them towards Derek's deployment zone, which is where the points are, because actually Derek hasn't got much defending his deployment zone. That would score me 7 points, and if I split them up, he's got foot slogging tac troops, and those tac troops in that Rhino will struggle to catch both units. So actually tactically, I think that's a better play. After turbo boosting both units, I decided to put them in this corner. I was eyeing up these areas here, but I figured that this Rhino actually has full movement, and after 12 inches his tac troops will be in rapid fire range. So moving into this corner gives me another gives me another turn of safety, and then in the later turns I'll move into that deployment zone and try and scrape those points. I've also, by using this corner, I've got the front armour of my 2 javelins, which apart from that multi-melter, the bolters of his tac squads can't scratch me, so I've got a weird armoured shield going on. The only thing I'm going to do is move my Delegatus into combat with the Vindicator here. He's got a melter bomb. I can't actually fail the charge. He's got +1 on the charge, and he's 2 inches away. Can't fail, so I'm just going to plop him straight in.
Overwatch! Oh no, I can't do that.
No. And I'll get back to you in a second, hopefully with a dead Vindicator. Delegatus versus Vindicator. He's using his melter bomb. He is hitting on 3s, so here we go. That's a good start. Melter bomb is strength 8 armor bane. Rear armor is 10.
10.
Lovely. That is very definitely a pen. So +2 to whatever this is. +5, so that's a weapon destroyed. Isn't quite what I want, but I'll take it. So do you want to call it?
So we'll say 5 or a 6 is the battle cannon, not the battle cannon, the Vindicator siege cannon, and a 1 to 4 is a combi bolter.
Cool.
Of your choosing. You can have either, I don't care.
Ooh, the pressure. 5 to 6, 5, 6. No.
It's a combi bolter.
One of the combi bolters and a hull point. Not quite what I wanted.
It's exactly what I wanted.
So that's the end of turn 3. I'm getting happier every turn.
Is it you're getting happier? Like, can we gauge your happiness by number of tanks killed?
I mean, that is a very solid metric to be using right now. I mean, with my boys actually holding your deployment zone, well, apart from the Damocles who is severely wounded, I don't think I'm suffering as severely as it kind of looks on paper. I mean, I would have liked my Delegatus to blow up my Vindicator, I'm not going to lie. But other than that, you know, I don't know. What do you think?
It's not too bad. It's definitely turned, and obviously we're at just finishing turn 3, so moving on to turn 4. So it's definitely coming down to crunch moment. There is no two ways about that. I mean, it's really going to depend.
It is? It's javelins, man.
Oh, javelins are brilliant.
They're stupid.
Every army should have javelins. If you don't take javelins,
75 points for that.
And that's tooled up.
Yeah.
That's like hunter killer missiles.
That's 200 kilo missiles.
Twin link cyclone and a multi-melter.
Which, in the hands of someone capable, hits.
Well, it is a miss melter.
Mine are definitely miss melters.
They all miss eventually.
I don't know, there's still a lot of tac troops that haven't actually got out of their armoured boxes.
Next turn it's time to deploy the tactical troops, because turn 4 is going to be the point where I need to start throwing more units at you than you can physically deal with.
Which, when I've only got, 4 Jav, 1 Kersgan, 4 speeders and I'm thin on the ground.
You are, and you've got to remember as well that the land speeders are squadroned, so they can only target one thing at a time.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've got more targets than you've got shots. But that's fine, Warriors.
My Delegatus is looking very exposed. Very exposed.
If I can just gun him down.
I wouldn't be. He's got 1 wound.
The question is it the siege cannon to the face?
No. You'd have to reverse. Iron Warriors don't reverse.
We
You
do.
can tank shock him.
Death or Glory with the
With
metal
metal
bomb?
bomb?
Yeah,
but with
no.
the Warlord?
Yeah, no.
Go on.
No. I'm thinking more autocannon and heavy bolter.
That is very armory. Anyway, we'll see what Derek chooses to do in a moment, and we'll wrap it up for you.
Kicking off the turn, I've decided to do some movement and start pushing hard into or towards the White Scars deployment. I've moved the Rhino with its tac squad up to pass in its difficult terrain test to get past its wrecked Predator counterpart. I have moved the Vindicator out of combat and lined up a nice shot with the land speeders there in the corner, and the Predator has only moved 6 inches so it can bring its full firepower to bear on those land speeders as well. Because it was shaken / stunned, the Damocles is remaining completely stationary. And moving across to this side of the board, we have a tactical squad jumping out of its Rhino, having done a reverse turn, hopefully getting some shots onto one of those 2 jet bike squads, but we'll see how that pans out, and maybe a lucky shot from a multi-melter may take one of those down, but we'll have to wait and see. And the other tactical squad has pushed forward to no man's land, making a beeline for what is the White Scars deployment area. I'm going to start with the Vindicator siege tank. It is going to fire its main weapon system at the 2 land speeders. I'm going to go for the front nose of the rear land speeder for 2. Let's see if I can actually get that hit direct fire so I can add ballistic skill. Not that I need it, so that is 2 hits.
Jink.
I had a feeling that was coming. Obviously this is ordnance. The first hit is shockingly a penetrating hit. The second one is also a penetrating hit. So
Weird that.
2 penetrating hits with your jink.
One at a time, just because, in case of explosions. First drink is fine, second drink is fine.
So
Lovely.
walks through the lot of it. Moving on, I'm going to move on to the Predator tank. Having moved only 6 inches, it is going to open up with its full arsenal of heavy bolters and autocannon. So we'll kick off with the 6 shots from the heavy bolters, needing 3s to hit, and unfortunately 6s due to the side armour on the land speeders being 11.
No,
so,
10.
oh, well, still only 1 wound.
Hang on, we'll check that. So Derek was completely right. I am side armour 11, which is a glance. So I need a 4+ drink in the tray. Yeah, fine.
Loaded dice.
How much we were at the beginning?
Autocannon opening up, so 4 shots hitting on 3s, 2 hits, strength 7. Looking for those 4s. 1 penetrating hit, 1 save.
Drink.
It's gone through. What does it do? Not a great deal.
A whole point.
Rhino's going to fire its multi-melter straight into the front lead vehicle. So missing on a 3. So shockingly it misses.
Huzzah!
The pinnacle-mounted bolter isn't going to do anything. However, I'm going to have 2 guys pop out the back hatch and fire at a separate target, being the Delegatus. So we're doing an Iron Warrior drive-by. Hitting on 3s, 1 hit. Wounding on a 5. Failed to wound.
Thank God.
Continuing with shooting, the Iron Warrior squad that is disembarked is going to rapid fire into the bike unit hiding behind the land speeders. Total of 19 shots due to the sergeant having a bolt pistol. So here we go. It's worked for me before. Let's see if it'll work again. So hitting on 3s. Gotta love those numbers. So that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Come on, the 5s and 6s. Oh, I'll take it. I will take it. So that is 3, 6, 7 saves of a 2-up.
Right, let me just get some dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we go. 2 ups. That's them dead.
Yes! Wiped out! After that devastating salvo of fire from the Iron Warriors infantry, I'm going to go to the pintle-mounted multi-melter in a vain attempt to hit a vehicle for a change.
Drink.
So we will be shooting the multi-melter into the land speeders, which is a miss again.
What a wasted.
Some more missing, but one jink, less firing. We like less firing. And for my last action in my shooting phase, I'm going to run this Iron Warrior squad towards the White Scars deployment area. 5. So I'll move those up 5 inches and then we'll catch up later.
My movement phase, turn 4. The Javelin land speeders in my own deployment zone have backed themselves into a corner. They're a denial unit, and I'm hoping even with snap fire that maybe with their rate of fire they can kind of hold off this monumental amount of Iron Warriors that's coming towards them. Maybe, maybe not. My Delegatus, who is still alive, is going for another attack run on the Vindicator. Back in the Iron Warriors deployment zone, the Sicaran, who has been unmolested this entire game, is going for the finishing shots on the Damocles. And the armoured corner that I'd formed is moving across as well, just to get into that Iron Warriors deployment zone. The Javelins have jinked, so I'm probably just going to flat out them. And again, I'm just going to flat out the bikers just to get in the corner and at least deny my opponent. At least sort of maybe get myself a lot of points if the Iron Warriors can't catch me. First up in my shooting phase, I'm going to fire my trusty Sicaran into the rear of this Damocles and try and claim another victim. So we're going to open up with our carries, so 6 shots, hitting on 2s. It's got nowhere to hide this time. All 6 hit, and needing 5s because it's rear armor 11. That is 1 hull point. It's enough to do the damage. It's gone. My Delegatus is firing his heavy bolter into the rear of this Vindicator. So he hits on 2s because he is special. And he needs... Why's my mind gone blank? Strength 5, rear armor 10.
2 hull points.
2 glasses. It's dead. Wow, my mind went really blank there for a second. Never mind, I killed it. Hooray! These 2 jinked javelins are going to fire everything they can into this predator. Again, just trying to slow down the things that can cause me the most havoc in the shortest amount of time. So 4 crack missiles hitting on 6s, but twin linked. 2, I'll take it straight off the bat. So that was 2 in total. And we are going front armor, so needing 5s and 6s. Nada. Now the multi-melters needing 6s. What? Okay. They're still only strength 8 and I'm definitely not in melter range. So 5s and 6s. Right, well, it was a valiant effort.
The fact they even hit is a valiant effort.
So the last thing I'm going to do in my shooting phase, I'm going to flat out both these units. They're both going to go full speed towards the Iron Warriors deployment zone. I'm just trying to get myself nestled in and safe. I'll move them and then we'll do a quick shot of where they ended up and then we'll move on. This is where my units ended up. The speeders and the scimitars. The reason I've done that, the scimitars are holding the rear. It allows the other javelins to move around. These speeders I wanted to hide from the Iron Warriors Rhino that might make them jink, and in my turn I can pop out and try and cause as much damage as I can in the last remnants I've got.
So that was the end of turn 4. Not going to lie, didn't go quite the way I wanted it to go, but we're going into turn 5 now. So now we're both last turn of the game, because obviously this scenario only lasts actually 5 turns. So,
I'm kind of glad of that.
Well, because it only lasts 5 turns, you can't force me into a 6th.
I can't do the
There is no
Warriors.
forcing me into a 6th turn.
No.
So now it's down to the objective grab, but there's very few units that can actually do that. So it's going to be...
Well,
It's going to be quite tight. It's going to be quite tight, I think. I just need to kill some stuff.
Yeah.
More dead speeders.
You're just going to rub it in, aren't you?
Well, all the speeders are alive, and they're the ones that have murdered my tanks.
Yeah.
It's almost like you should have put them on first.
No, because you would have just made them drink.
Yes, I'd have killed them.
Yeah, yeah, you would have. Yeah.
I'd have murdered them first.
Yeah. Awesome. So we'll do turn 5. Let's see how it goes. It'll be a quick one, I can tell you that.
Last turn of the game, turn 5, got my final movement down, so the Rhino has disembarked its troop choices and piled those in the enemy's deployment zone. The Rhino has lined up its multi-melter and combi bottler onto the Delegatus, hopefully for a couple of cheeky shots. Predator has realigned itself to maximise its firepower onto the 2 land speeders that are presently dominating, well not quite dominating, but certainly occupying the enemy's deployment zone. The 3rd Tactical Squad is pushed right the way up into the enemy's deployment zone just to 100% secure that. On this side, 1st Tactical has chosen to hunker down behind the building to optimise their cover from the speeders regardless which way they actually come round. And their Rhino has pushed forward just so it can get off that single shot to hopefully take down one of those speeders. Or possibly the other speeder, and we will see how that goes in the shooting phase. Moving on to shooting, the Rhino is going to open up with its multi-melter into the Javelin squad with its single shot. Are you jinking?
I am not going to jink, because as a squadron, and you've only got 1 multi-melter shot, you can only kill one of them, and that means if I haven't jinked, they will get full firepower in my last turn.
Excellent. So let's see if I can hit with the multi-miss. Multi-miss hits.
Okay.
Strength 8, front armour is 11, so looking at 3s, it fails.
I'll take it.
It fails, so a gamble well taken.
Excellent.
Predator is going to open fire up into the land speeders. Are you jinking?
This time I will jink. Yes.
You will jink. Well, jink these heavy bottler shots from the 2 heavy bottlers, hitting on 3s. Better. Needing 6s to penetrate the armour 11. Nil point.
Good.
Auto cannon. 4 shots, only 1 hit. That is a bit devastating, but it does pen your jink save set.
4 up drink.
Saves.
Okay.
Moving on to the Rhino, it's going to fire its multi-melter at the Delegatus, just
hidden behind some smoke.
hiding, trying to hide, desperately trying to hide.
He will drink as well.
So we will start with the multi-melter, which hits, wounding on a 2. It wounds.
Okay, 3 up drink. This is important.
This is very important, or he is dead. He dead! Delegatus down!
Slay the Warlord. Well done, well
I
done.
will take that.
Well done, sir.
So that's the end of turn 5 for me. I've done everything that I can. Got the land speeder snap firing. There's still a Keys-again out there, and a couple of other javelins that are going to cause some havoc, I think. But I've done what I can with what I've got. I've still got 30 tactical marines that are scoring on this table, so I'm optimistic. But let's see what the White Scars can bring back.
Last turn of the entire game for the White Scars. The 2 Javelin speeders that are jinked and in my own deployment zone have gone straight forward, and if I can take out that Predator, I'll count myself very lucky. There is last man standing in this game, so if I can try and take out as much as I can, I might get those points. We haven't been counting points as we've been going because we like to keep it a bit more entertaining for ourselves, so I don't know. These Javelins, which I got very lucky with and didn't jink, are looking down the face of this Rhino. Again, I've moved them forward so they're in melter range, and if they don't pop it, it's kind of the story of this game for me, isn't it, really? These 2 have scimitar bikes have just moved into the centre just to claim the moral victory of being in the Iron Warrior's deployment zone. And the Ceramite, I wanted to keep him still so he could fire as much as he could, but he wasn't quite in range of this Rhino. So I've shifted him forward 12 so that his Carey's assault cannon and one of the auto cannons can fire on full. And again, just try and take out, if I can take out 3 vehicles in this last turn, I'll smile. To start off my last shooting phase, the 2 snap shooting javelins are going to fire into this predator. I might get lucky. Here we go. Start with the multi-melters. 6s, nada. Now 4 missiles, which are twin linked, so hitting on 6s, that's 1, and 3 more, so 1 hit. Strength 8, needing a 5 or a 6. That's a glance. It's a whole point. Hey. Straight on to my next pair of javelins. These 2 were the lucky ones that didn't jink last time and managed to survive. So they're going to take ultimate revenge on this Rhino. So 2 melter shots that are in melter range, hitting on 2s. 1
multi-miss.
50%, we're okay. And strength 8, armour 11, and in melter range, that is a definite pen.
Definitely pen.
Plus 2 for AP1 is a 6, which is immobilised and a hull point. So I've got 4 missiles to fire, hitting on 2s, but twin linked, all hit. And again, strength 8, so armour 11, needing 3s. That is 2 more hull points, so the Rhino dies at least.
Rhino down.
Last thing to fire, and indeed the last action of the entire game, is my Ceramite speeder opening up with its weapons against the Iron Warrior's Rhino at the back here. It did have to move 12 to get its carries in range, so it's going to fire carries at full, 1 of the autocannons at full, and 1 at snap. Here we go. So carries first, hitting on 2s, that's all of them, and front armour 11, so needing 5s. That is El Zilcho.
Rhino lives.
Maybe. Now, 1 of the autocannons at full ballistic. Lovely. Strength 7, so 4s. That is a pen. We'll see what it does, but it doesn't really matter. It's a weapon destroyed. 4 plus. Yeah, multi-melter. Why not? Moral victory. And the other twin-linked autocannon, 1 hit. This is snap shooting.
2 hits.
Hit. Lovely.
Cheeky.
Lovely.
Finish it off.
And needing 4s. There it goes.
Pop.
Excellent.
Rhino down.
That was the last thing I had to fire and the last action of the entire game. We'll now count up some points and we'll get back to you with the finish and see how it went.
So that's it, game done. And what a game.
That was great.
That was insane.
After the first turn, I was, I'm not going to lie, I thought this was going to
You ran away?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought this was going to be a turn 3 curb stomp, but javelins.
Yeah, javelins. Ridiculous. I mean, there's, I think, between the 5 of them, I think one's got, one attacking a whole point worth of damage, and the other one's just like, you want some more firepower? You got firepower.
That's good.
But no, absolutely devastating. But no, that was an absolutely stonking.
That was great. I really enjoyed that game.
I mean, some of the tactics, I mean, I got lucky in the far corner with that tac squad rapid firing and wiping out those 2 bikers, because had those bikers survived, it would have been a different game.
Would have been. Well, what are the points?
Points. So I got, was it 13?
13 to the Iron Warriors.
And
they held my deployment zone.
Yep.
They held no man's land. And they got Slay the Warlord.
Yep. And the White Scars got my deployment zone. So
Yep.
basically changed deployment zones. They killed my tank commander quite quickly, because why wouldn't you? And unfortunately didn't manage to secure the middle ground.
No, so I got 8 points in the end. So it was 13 Iron Warriors, 8 to the White Scars. Actually, weirdly, as Derek was saying, the rapid firing tactical squad in the bottom, if his own no man's land, if they'd have survived, I'd have won the game.
Yeah.
Because they would have turbo boosted into no man's land.
Which, bearing in mind, because of this mission scenario, was actually a
Denial.
weird S shape. So it's kind of like that corner and the bit in the middle. So he had all of that to basically go into to deny no man's land because you only score once for it.
And then I would have had last man standing. Whereas we're equal on last man standing.
We are, because you popped, what was it, 3 tanks?
In the last turn, yeah.
No, 2 tanks in the last turn, which
two?
2, because it was both of the Rhinos you got.
So this was weirdly close despite how it looked. That was a fantastic game.
It was like 2 rolls in it would have made it. But
Great.
No,
thank you very much.
Stonking game.
And we'll see you next time, mate.
Catch you later.
Thank you very much.
Bye now.
Bye. The unit I'm most looking forward to using today is my Sicaran speeder. Javelin speeders are absolutely criminally undercosted. Fuck's sake.